Okay. Let's start. Ja, er fängt an, ne?
I brought you a special guy, an FC Porto expert. He's called Miguel Pinho.
Miguel, hi.
Hi,
I'm Niels.
Miguel.
Nice to have you in our studio tonight.
It's nice to be here.
Let's talk about FC Porto.
Sure, let's
Which
go.
is your favorite club?
That's a difficult question, but I
No,
guess
yeah.
I'll have to say FC Porto.
FC
Yes,
Porto. Very surprising for me. I did not count
on that.
on that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Can you tell me what is the essence of the club? What's the taste of the club? What you can separate it from the other clubs?
Victory.
Victory.
If you look at the, ever since our current president came into power
Barack
in
Obama.
in '82,
Yeah.
the current president from Porto, he instilled in the club a philosophy of victory and strong leadership, and that, coupled with quality and ambition, etc., led us to become probably the most, not probably, certainly, the most successful club inside Portugal and one of the most successful clubs in Europe.
That's an interesting point because
Yeah,
Porto is not the most financially
in
gifted club in Europe, I would
No,
say.
not at
but
all.
nevertheless, they had some huge success. So,
Yes.
what is the secret behind it?
Well, the secret is quality. Our president is very good not only at making decisions, but at choosing the right people to make the right decisions for him. For example, choosing the right coach for the right time, implementing a certain strategy for a certain period of years, 3 or 4 years, for example. And for the last 20, 25, 30 years, we've been, especially in the 90s and in the past decade, we've experienced, it's the kind of success. I would say that Porto, on average, wins 3 out of 4 championships, Portuguese championships, or maybe even 4 out of 5. That's just a taste of it. In the last 9 years, we won 7, for example.
Yes.
And that's coupled with a list of records. I'm not going to give them all, because the list is interminable. We became European champions against Bayern Munich in '87. We became European champions a second time in 2004 against all odds, led by José Mourinho. We were the only club in the last 30 years to win more than one championship, Portuguese championship in a row. Quite in fact, we won twice, 2 in a row, once 3 in a row, once 4 in a row, and actually the record once 5 in a row in the 90s. And I became a Porto fan when I started as a child paying attention to football. Probably mostly due to family influence. But I would say that the fact that in the mid of the 90s, Porto was already the dominant force in Portuguese football. And the recurrent and constant victories of Porto against its internal rivals also probably helped consolidate my process of fanaticism, because in terms of financial resources, the relationship between financial resources, because we're talking about a Portuguese club, and Portugal is not a very rich country. You know, if you take out the 4 main European championships, Germany, Italy, England, and Spain, if you take those out, and if you take the relationship between financial resources and football success, titles, national and international titles, in my opinion, this might be a little controversial, but in my opinion, and I think it's factual, Porto is the best team in Europe. So imagine if Porto had the financial capability of I don't know, Bayern Munich or Real Madrid or Manchester United, maybe the result wouldn't be so great because we are using Porto. It's kind of a northern Portuguese philosophy, you know, that our president used, you know, to define a common enemy within Portugal itself, you know, in the south, you know, and that was part of his strategy, to identify an enemy. And we've always been historically, during the years of the dictatorship, there's the myth that Porto was always, you know, Sporting and Benfica were always taken care of, especially, and Porto was kind of, you know, they didn't pay too much attention to Porto. After the Coronation Revolution in '74, almost immediately Porto restarted winning. And in the 80s, we shared the internal domination with Benfica. But from the 90s on, throughout the entire decade of the 90s and the next decade, we won more than, I don't know, it's like 17 out of 21 or 22 championships. Plus one UEFA Cup, one Europa League in 2011, not too long ago. Twice European champions, 2 Intercontinental Cups, 1 European Super Cup. I mean, we're talking about one of the most successful clubs in Europe, even for a Portuguese club, which, in my opinion, is quite a feat, you know.
So Miguel, what makes you a Porto fan? Why Porto?
Well, because, well, first of all, because of direct family influence, of course, which is the most case in that's the main reason for anybody to be a certain club. But also due to the fact that when I started watching football, Porto was already the dominant force in Portuguese football. And the constant and recurrent victories of Porto against its national rivals contributed to the process of fanaticism that I ended up with. Okay. So I'm a Porto fanatic, yeah, sure.
Can you describe to me with 3 words what's the spirit of Porto?
Victory, victory, and victory. No, victory for sure. Yeah. Strength and honor.
Wow, it's
yeah.
a World of Warcraft.
No, that's really it. I could choose other adjectives or whatever or nouns, but those are the 3 main ones.
Okay.
Sure.
So Porto keeps losing its best players.
Yeah.
But then they come up with new players.
Yeah. That's
so.
Yeah.
Why is Porto so successful in scouting new players, which can be sold for a lot of money?
Well, the thing is, Porto has been following that sort of financial strategy in building its squad for 10, 15 years. Our main rival is just starting copying it, but we've been doing it for a long time. The thing is, we have a lot of scouters, especially more recently in South America, first in Argentina, and especially now in Colombia, and also in Mexico. And the thing is, we purchase real talent, players which we know are going to be are going to bring added value to the team. They usually spend 2-3 years in Porto. They gain sports success. They become champions usually, and then they're sold to either Chelsea or Real Madrid or Manchester United for 10 times as much. And usually
Hulk is one example.
That's just one.
Just
one out of 20 or something. Yeah.
We have Jackson Martinez, who is playing for you, but maybe how long?
He's going to move out of Porto this season.
Until next time.
I can give you that information firsthand. And so is no. Yes.
Yes, you have
I'm not the only. I'm not the only person who knows that.
Okay.
He's been here for 3 years, so that's usually 2-3 years. That's usually the time they spend here. Yeah.
How important is it, especially when it comes to Brazilian talent, that you speak the same language? Is it more easy for them to like go to Europe into a country which has the same language, part of the same culture?
Well, it helps, but the thing
We
is,
live in same world.
the thing is, in Portugal, it's not just Porto. We usually say that Brazil is there's a strong connection, especially because of the language, and it's a cheap market because in Brazil there's an incredible percentage of youngsters whose only skill is to play football on the streets, and they develop incredible football skills. I mean, Brazil is a football nation. And as a result of that, it's not just Porto, it's Benfica, it's Sporting, it's any Portuguese club purchases a very high volume of Brazilian players and has done so for a long time and still does. But now we've been moving on a little bit to the other countries, the Spanish-speaking countries of Southern America, Argentina, Colombia, Mexico.
Who's the next big shot? What would you predict?
From the current team?
Yeah.
The next sale or the next?
It's the same. The next big thing will be the next big
eventually,
sale. So,
yes, yes, I agree with you. I would say Herrera, maybe.
Herrera. Is he going to play?
Yeah, I hope so. Tello, because he's on loan from Barcelona, which is a rarity from Porto. We usually don't get players from loan by loan. Oliver Torres from Atletico, which is also on loan. Brahimi, Quintero, maybe. So, again, players from South America.
Okay.
What are you doing with all the money? One criticism: you only have probably only one Portuguese player tonight or tomorrow in the team.
Yeah, usually we.
Yeah, I have to ask it.
Ja. Und dann würde ich gerne auch danach die most emotional moments.
Ja.
München.
Yep.
So, scouting a lot of players in South America, there's also a problem. You have probably only. Oh nee, das ist ja wieder Samstag. Because the game is already over, so I have to start again. The game is over. There's probably one downside in scouting a lot of players abroad, especially in South America.
Yes.
You do have only few Portuguese players in your squad.
Well, it's part of it's not just a problem of Porto. I mean, if you look at from 10, 15 years ago, Arsenal, I remember Arsenal playing with 0 English players. I've seen Inter Milan playing with 0 Italian players. So Benfica plays with no Portuguese players sometimes. So,
but there's also a downside in scouting a lot of players abroad, especially in South America, which is you only have a few Portuguese players in your squad.
That's true. But it's not just a problem of Porto. I mean, if you look at it's part of the whole globalization process. I mean, 20, 15 years ago, Benfica, Arsenal, Inter Milan, for example, I've seen them sometimes playing without any of their nationals. In the case of Porto, we've got, in this particular season, we've got Quaresma usually, and sometimes not even Quaresma, you know. Or Ruben Neves, which is a youngster. And the thing is, we've got an extremely good youth department, but
Porto é o maior.
the need to win, the need to win against Benfica. You know, there's no time to bet on Portuguese players to let them develop. You know, so we've got to get real talent. You know, from Colombia, from Mexico, players who we know are going to be of major performance immediately. You know, and that's not the case with Portuguese players. There's no time to let them develop. You know?
Yeah. So this is also a problem for a national team.
Yes, it is. It has repercussions in the Portuguese national team, of course. But in the case of Portugal, we've got a major advantage, which is probably not only the best footballer in the world, but probably the best athlete in the world, which is obviously Cristiano Ronaldo. And he makes up for, I don't know, he's worth, I don't know, 5 or 6 players, you know, so we've got that problem solved, you know. But Portugal is never
didn't get you that far.
No, that's what I was going to say, because Portugal has never won a single European or World Cup competition, ever. We've reached one final in Portugal, and we lost in our own home ground against Greece, trained by a German. And if you look, even Greece, so we look at Portugal and we say we have a big tradition in football, but that's not really the case. I mean, we've had Eusebio, we've had Figo, Cristiano Ronaldo, etc. Excellent generations of players, but we never won anything. Germany wins, I don't know, once every three tries or something. So it's just an example. So,
but we have a lot of German players in our squads. Every team, even Bayern Munich is the best team.
Bayern München, Borussia Dortmund, Leverkusen, Mönchengladbach, Werder Bremen. But you know, we're talking about two completely different realities. I mean, Germany has its own very structured system of developing youngsters, especially Borussia Dortmund, and Portugal doesn't quite go in the same direction.
So what are your most emotional moments in the history of Porto?
In my history of being a fan of Porto.
Yes. You've never been a player, haven't you?
No. No, I don't possess the skills. Surprisingly, it's not the winning of the UEFA Champions League in 2004, nor the UEFA Cup in 2003. I think it was the whole season of 2010-2011, because in that season we beat our main rivals 4 times. Once 2-0, once 5-0. We were champions in their own grounds. A week later, we eliminated them from the Portuguese Cup, and we won that championship without any loss. And we won 4 competitions, and we won one of them was an international competition, the UEFA Europa League. So, in my opinion, that surpasses even Jose Mourinho's seasons from Porto. So you can consider the whole season to be my highest point in Porto joys, you know. Yeah.
Aber wir haben heute noch einen weiteren Gast und das ist der Michael. Herzlich willkommen, Michael.
Ja.
Michael, du bist großer Bayern-Fan.
Ja.
Wie bist du dazu gekommen?
Ich bin ein Fußballclub Bayern München Fan seit 1998. Das war der Finale gegen Manchester United in
99.
In Camp Nou.
War das.
Ich glaube, das Fußballclub Bayern München ist das beste Team in Deutschland. Das ist Fakt.
Ist doch umstritten. Wissenschaftler sind sich nicht einig, wer das beste Team in Deutschland ist.
Ich mag Borussia Dortmund. Ich mag alle deutsche Mannschaften. Ja?
Wie kommt das
Bayern
als
München,
Portugiese, dass man deutsche Mannschaften mag?
Ja. Ich glaube, dass Deutschland in den letzten Jahren, in 1997, ich glaube, Fußballclub Bayern München war die beste deutsche Mannschaft. Zusammen mit Kaiserslautern, Werder Bremen, Schalke, Dortmund. Aber Fußballclub Bayern München ist heute das beste Mannschaft und war immer das beste Mannschaft in Deutschland.
Also jetzt
Dortmund zum Beispiel.
Ja.
Dortmund war zweimal deutscher Meister mit Jürgen Klopp.
Ja.
Ich bin ein Fan von Jürgen Klopp. Ich glaube, dass Jürgen Klopp sollte Bayern München
trainieren.
Ja. Wirklich.
Aber jetzt bist du ja Porto-Fan und Bayern-Fan.
Ja.
Und Dortmund magst du auch ein bisschen. Kann man sagen, du bist im Allgemeinen auch ein Fan von Erfolg?
Ich habe drei Mannschaften. Porto, Fußballclub Bayern München und Ballspielverein Borussia.
Ja.
Aber ich bin auch ein groß Fan der deutschen Nationalmannschaft.
Okay.
Seit der Weltmeisterschaft 1998 in Frankreich. Ja.
Das war aber keine Glanzzeit.
Nein, ja, in 96, Deutschland hat die Europameisterschaft gewonnen, ja. Aber in die letzten Spieler wie Manuel Neuer, Mesut Özil, Toni Kroos, Holger Badstuber, Thomas Müller, Toni Kroos, Marco Reus, André Schürrle, Per Mertesacker, Manuel Neuer.
Du kennst sie alle.
Ja. Bastian Schweinsteiger, darf ich die ganze
Ich sehe,
Liste?
du kennst die ganze Liste.
Die ganze Liste,
Und
ja.
was passiert, wenn jetzt eine deutsche Mannschaft, entweder Bayern München gegen Porto oder die Nationalmannschaft gegen die portugiesische Nationalmannschaft spielt? Wie verkraftest du das emotional?
Ich muss sagen, dass ich bin nicht zu stolz, Portugiese zu sein. Ja? Zum Beispiel, wenn Deutschland gegen Portugal spielt, ich will, dass Deutschland gewinnt. Ja? Gut. Und Deutschland gewinnt 4-0 an der Weltmeisterschaft 2014. Und ich wusste, dass Deutschland wurde die Weltmeisterschaft gewonnen. Ich wusste, dass Bayern München wurde die Europameisterschaft gewonnen gegen Dortmund in der Finale, ganz Deutschland, also Finale in Wembley. Und ich wusste, dass Deutschland Weltmeister wurde.
Wer gewinnt denn dieses Jahr die Champions League?
Entschuldigung?
Wer gewinnt dieses Jahr die Champions League?
Wenn Porto Bayern München eliminiert, ich glaube, dass Porto muss die UEFA Champions League gewinnen.
Und wenn Bayern gewinnt, dann Bayern?
Weil Bayern das beste Team in der Welt ist.
Vor Real?
Jetzt, ja.
Vor Real?
Ja, besser als Real Madrid. Ja. Ich glaube, dass es ist nicht so stark als Bayern München war 2 Jahre mit Jupp Heynckes. Das war eine ganze Bundesliga, Pokal, UEFA Champions League. Aber dieses Jahr, wenn Porto Bayern eliminiert, Porto muss die UEFA Champions League gewinnen. Aber wenn Bayern München Porto eliminiert, dann Bayern München.
Also ein vorgezogenes Finale jetzt.
Ja,
Porto gegen Bayern ist das eigentliche Finale.
Ja, das war ein Finale 1987, Porto gegen Bayern, und Porto hat gewonnen.
Gewonnen?
Ja.